A Pangyre by Ben Jonson on the happy entrace of Iames, our Soveraigne, to his first high session of Parliament in this his Kingdome, the 19th of March, 1603. Licet toto nunc Helicone frui. Mart. Heaven now not strives, alone, our breasts to fill with joys, but urgeth his full favours still. Again, the glory of our Western world unfolds himself, and from his eyes are hoorl'd, today, 1,000 radiant lights, that stream to every nook and angle of his Realme. His former rays did only clear the sky, but these his searching beams are cast, to pry into those dark and deep concealed vaults, where men commit black incest with their faults, and snore supinely in the stall of sin, where murder, rapine, lust, do sit within, Carowsing humane. Blood in yron bowls, and make their den the slaughterhouse of souls, from whose foul-reeking caverns first arise those damps, that so offend all good men's eyes, and would, if not dispersed, infect the crown, and in their vapour her bright metal drown. To this so clear and sanctified an end, I saw, when Reverend Themis did descend upon his state, let down in that rich chain, that fasteneth heavenly power to earthly reign. Beside her, stupid on either hand, a maid, fair Dice, and Eunomia, who were said to be her daughters, and but faintly known on earth, till now, they came to grace his throne. Her third, Irene, helped to bear his train, and in her office vowed she would remain, till foreign malice, or unnatural spite, which fates avert, should force her from her right. With these he passed, and with his people's hearts breathed in his way, and souls, their better parts, hasting to follow forth in shouts and cries. Upon his face all through their covetous eyes, as on a wonder, some amazed stood, as if they felt, but had not known their good others would fain have shown it in their words. But, when their speech so poor, a help affords unto their zeal's expression, they are mute, and only with red silence him salute. Some cry from tops of houses, thinking noise the fittest herald to proclaim true joys. Others on ground run gazing by his side, all, as unwearied, as unsatisfied, and every wind or grieved it could not move along with him, and the same trouble prove. They that had seen, but 4 short days before, his gladding look, now longed to see it more. And as of late, when he through London went, the amorous city sparred no ornament, that might her beauties heighten, but so doctorist as are ambitious dames, when they make feast, and would be courted. So this town put on her brightest tire, and, in it, equal shown to her great sister. Save that modesty, her place, and years, grave her precedency. The joy of either was alike, and full. No age, nor sex, so weak, or strongly dull, that did not bear a part in this consent of hearts and voices. All the air was rent, as with the murmur of a moving wood. The ground beneath did see me a moving flood. Walls, windows, roofs, towers, steeples, all were set with several eyes, that in this object met. Old men were glad, their fates till now did last, and infants that the oars had made such haste to bring them forth. Whilst riper aged, and apt to understand the more were rapt. This was the people's love, with which did strive the noble's zeal, yet either kept alive the other's flame, as doth the wick and wax, that friendly tempered one pure taper makes. Meanwhile, the Reverend Themis draws aside the king's obeying will, from taking pride in these vain stirs, and to his mind suggests how he may triumph in his subjects' breasts, with better pomp. She telephones him first, that kings are here on earth the most conspicuous things. That they, by heaven, are placked upon his throne, to rule like heaven, and have no more their own, as they are men, than men. That all they do, though hid at home, abroad is searched into, and being once found out, discovered lies, unto as many envies, there, as eyes. That princes, since they know it is their fate, oft times, to have the secrets of their state, betrayed to fame, should take more care, and fear, in public acts what face and form they bear. She then remembered to his thought the place, where he was going, and the upward race of kings, exceeding him in that high court. Their laws, their ends, the men she did report, and also justly, as his ear was joyed, to hear the truth, from spite of flattery void. She shewed him, who made wise, who honest acts, who both, who neither, all the cunning tracks, and thrivings. Statutes she could promptly note. The bloody, base, and barbarous she did quote. Where laws were made to serve the tyrant, will. Where sleeping they could save, and waking kill. Where acts gave license to impetuous lust, to bury churches, in forgotten dust, and with their ruins raise the pander's bowers. When, public justice borrowed all her powers, from private chambers. That could then create, laws, judges, consulars, yea prince, and state. All this she told, and more, with bleeding eyes, for right is as compassionate as wise. Nor did he see me their vices so to love, as once defend, what Themis did reprove. For though by right, and benefit of times, he ownd their crowns, he would not so their crimes. He knew that princes, who had sold their fame to their voluptuous lusts, had lost their name, and that no wretch was more unblessed than he, whose necessary good 'twas now to be an evil king, and so must such be still, who once have got the habit to do ill. One wickedness another must defend, for vice is safe, while she hath vice to friend. He knew, that those, who would, with love, command, must with a tender, yet a steadfast, hand sustain the reins, and in the check forbear to offer cause of injury, or fear. That kings, by their example, more do sway than by their power, and men do more obey when they are led, than when they are compelled. In all these knowing arts our prince excelled. And now the dame had dried her dropping Againe, when, like an April iris, flew her shine about the streets, as it would force a spring from out the stones, to gratulate the king. She blessed the people, that in shoals did swim to Hera her speech, which still began in him, and ceased in them. She told them, what a fate was gently found from heaven upon this state. How dear a father they did now enjoy that came to save, what discord would destroy. And entering with the power of a king, the temperance of a private man did bring, that wan affections, ere his steps won ground, and was not hot, or covetous to be crowned before men's hearts had crowned him. Who, unlike those greater bodies of the sky, that strike the lesser fires dim, in his access brighter than all, hath yet made no one less, though many greater, and the most, the best. Wherein, his choice was happy with the rest of his great actions, first to see, and do what all men's wishes did aspire unto. Hereat, the people could no longer hold their bursting joys, but through the air was rolled the lengthened shout, as when titillery of heaven is discharged along the sky. And this confession flew from every voice, never had land more reason to rejoice, nor to her bliss, could aught now added be, save, that she might the same perpetual see. Which when time, nature, and the fates denied, with a twice louder shout again they cried, yet, let blessed Bretagne ask, without your wrong, still to have such a king, and this king long. Solus rex, and poeta non quotanus nascitur.